And I think, that brings us to the topic of, today's episode, which is what determines the value of your creativity or your art? Does wearable art cheapen your portfolio? Can really anything cheapen the value of your creativity or originality? What is the true value of your art? Who decides this? Who determines it? And, with all these questions, I can't really say I have the right answer or a solid answer to any of these, but what I do have is my own perspective, and that's what I'm sharing with you guys here today. I'm sure most creatives have trouble with these questions, especially, when you're trying to price your work or market your work or merchandise your art into some type of personal brand. And I think the common idea when it comes to like pricing is like, whether it's a product or a service, is that generally it's said like your work is as valuable as the market determines, and aka you're only worth what the general public is willing to pay. Another idea is that you should never lowball yourself and should value your work as high as you think. And I can't say I completely agree or disagree with either of these, because I deal with this dilemma regularly. Like, for example, when pricing a painting that took me like 50 hours to complete, I sit there like, well, this took forever and it's huge. Like, how many square inches is it? How much do I feel like my hours are worth? I then try to use the answers to these questions to, determine my ideal price. Like, what dollar amount could I receive for this artwork and like feel good about it and feel like I didn't let it go, and like for pennies, and like what would make me happy if somebody gave me this amount? What would make me feel like, wow, like I feel like I deserve this, and I feel like sure, you could be like, this is worth 10 grand, but it's like, try to be reasonable. I try to be reasonable. Maybe one day a piece will be worth 10 grand, but right now I personally don't have any pieces I think are worth 10 grand. I think it just comes down to like how much I value my time. And again, yeah, that's just like, I come up with this ideal number, and then I start to think like, okay, like I'm pricing this at 1,000 or 1,200 or whatever. And then I'm just like, wait, who the F am I? Like, I'm nobody. I'm nobody in this art world. Like, why am I pricing this at 1,100 or 1,200? Like, is it worth it to keep my ideal price as is and hold this painting until like my demand grows? Or do I sell it for a low price just to get it out of my apartment and into the home of a potential collector, where it'll serve as like basically a billboard to whoever visits the person's home? Like, they'll come in, they'll see, oh, that's cool, where'd you get that? I got it from so-and-so, check out their Instagram, he's really great. And now I've made a commercial for myself by selling it for the low, but now it's, living somewhere where it could be seen by more people than the people who visit my own apartment. It's a tough question, determining whether you should keep your ideal price or like lower it a bit to just get it out of here. But I think only you as the creative can answer this, there really is no question. There is no right answer. It's kind of like a preference, I believe. Personally, I kind of grow attached to my recent works. Like, if I spent 50 hours or something, or like a couple months or whatever, I'm like attached to it. I don't want to let it go right away. So I might price it a little high and just either post it, or if I have a show, it's like, this is the price for this guy. And then if it sells, great. But if it doesn't, I'm just like, I'm not really mad, because I still want to look at it and appreciate it myself at my apartment. And then, you know, later on, as months go by or, you know, time goes by, I might lower it. Meaning lower the price. But it might not be the smartest move, but I just believe that the demand will be there one day to a point where people buy regardless of the price I ask for. And I mean, I personally, I just don't want to see a piece I spent 50 hours on sold for $100 to $200. That's like, you know, $2 an hour or $4 an hour. And I'm sure most would agree that just isn't fair. But I guess because of that mindset, I don't mind creating limited prints of most of my works, because I know the original might be sitting for a while. And like I said earlier, you know, like, prints give my supporters a chance to have something in their collection that was affordable, and, you know, they're still supporting me. And I don't have a problem with limited prints, stickers, or wearable art like I'm working on right now. I mean, if anything, wearable art is still original, because you're painting, well, some wearable, because me painting a t-shirt and me getting screen prints on a t-shirt are different. The screen print would be kind of like a print that you would sell for the low, but if I'm making like a one-of-one jacket, you could price that however you want to price it, however long it took you to make that. And yeah, like I said, I don't have a problem with that.